Hello and welcome to Barbara's podcast. This is the show for women, all about health, nutrition, and wellness. It's the show that will empower you and inspire you to create a healthier lifestyle.
Well, hello and welcome. I'm Barbara Carafocus, and I'm excited to introduce Emily Zorn, who is a registered dietitian and a health coach. So welcome, Emily.
Thank you so much, Barbara. I'm so excited to be here.
Can you tell us about your journey and what inspired you to become a dietitian and a health coach?
Sure. So I always loved food. I thought it was really fun and interesting, and I loved reading the nutrition facts labels even as a kid. I would even go to the library when I was like 10 years old and pick out different cookbooks from different countries. And I remember making a meal for my family that was all from France and one that was all from Africa and things like that. And it was really fun. So then when I was going to college and I was looking at different things I could study, I saw nutrition was on there and it just sounded more fun than work. So that's the path that I chose and I haven't looked back since. I started my career as a sports dietitian. So for 5 years, I was working just with collegiate and professional athletes in a team setting, very like there with them every day at practices, at games. And then in 2020, I started a private practice where I do virtual nutrition coaching, still work with some athletes, but now I also work with a group that I'm very passionate about because I feel like I fit more in this second group than the athlete group. But I love helping people learn how to just eat for their body, how to listen to their body, and how to not follow a diet, how to not follow strict rules in order to be healthy. So really empowering people to know what is true about nutrition, what they can ignore, and then have the knowledge and then be able to put it into practice. So that's what I'm really passionate about and been doing that now for, going on 4 years. So it's been a fun journey.
Wow, that's brilliant. I think there's got to be a lot of passion to love your job. I think it's one of the most fulfilling things that you can do when you actually feel like you're helping somebody else.
Yes.
So how do you work with clients to develop that mindset? Making them confident in their food choices and learning to trust their body.
Yes. So being a dietitian, we're only taught the nutrition side, the anatomy side, the metabolism side. And so I realized once I started working with people that the knowledge is great. It's important for people to have the knowledge, but what's missing is being there to support them mentally, emotionally as they make these changes. Because nutrition, it's so personal and it's not just about the knowledge. It's about having someone with you to actually put these things into practice. So I decided after a couple of years to get my life coaching certification so that I don't want to be a therapist. I want to stay within my scope, but I also want to help people on that other level besides just the nutrition knowledge. So now when I work with someone, I make sure they've got the knowledge down, but then I use a lot of life coaching techniques in order to help them realize what are your roadblocks. You have this knowledge. Now what's getting in the way of you putting it into practice? So that's a big piece I use. I also like using when it comes to trusting your body and being able to know what your body is telling you. I like to use what I call the hunger fullness scale. And I won't get into it too much. Anyone, there's a bunch of them online. You can Google hunger fullness scale, but it's a really great tool to check in with your body and say, what level of hungry am I? What level of full am I? And really trying to stay right in the middle so you never get too hungry or too full. You learn how to listen to your body and respond accordingly.
I really like the fact that with regards to you cutting through all the bullshit, the BS.
Yes, the BS. Love it.
So what are some of the misconceptions people have about nutrition and weight loss?
Ooh, where to start? So yes, I have a whole podcast called RDs versus BS, so registered dietitians versus BS. And
Yeah.
We've got almost 80 episodes about things that are BS and things that are actually true. So yeah, I would say, some of the most common ones, the first thing that comes to mind is supplements.
Yes.
Obviously, the supplement industry is huge. And while I'm not against supplements, it should really just be that, a supplement to a healthy diet. If you've got a terrible diet and you're trying to fix it with supplements, that's not going to work.
It's not going to work. Yeah.
Not going to work. And also, a lot of supplements are not regulated, so they can say anything could say, oh, this is going to make your life 100% better and you're going to have 1,000% more energy and you're going to lose 40 pounds, and there's just no truth behind that. So I really like going into specific supplements and looking at the ingredients, looking at the science behind it, and telling people, hey, if your goal is weight loss, if your goal is more energy, if your goal is muscle gain, here are supplements that are actually worth your money, and you can ignore all of the rest. But it's all got to be based on a solid diet first. And that doesn't sell as much as a supplement claiming to help you lose 40 pounds, but it's just the truth.
No, it is the truth. There's one that constantly pops up, and it's regarding breakfast. Some people say, well, no, you should have breakfast, and others are, no, you shouldn't have breakfast. And then there's this whole intermittent fasting, and what's your opinion on that?
Great question. So we've got a whole episode on intermittent fasting on the podcast. So if you're interested in the science, definitely go listen to that. But in general, I am open to intermittent fasting. If someone is trying to lose weight,
Yes.
It seems to work. But what I don't want people to do is hear that and say, that is now the only way to lose weight, so I need to make it happen for myself. Personally, intermittent fasting does not work for me. I am hungry when I wake up. I'm hungry at 8 a.m. I'm hungry at noon. I'm hungry at 6 p.m. I need to eat throughout the day, and that works for me. Yes. Yes. And that's okay, because whatever your goal is, there are truly dozens of ways nutritionally to reach your goal. If weight loss is the goal, there are so many ways to get into a calorie deficit. It doesn't have to be intermittent fasting, but for some people, intermittent fasting works really well. And, best of both worlds, in my opinion, is if you're trying intermittent fasting, do it early in the morning so you still get your breakfast, because I am a big proponent of eating more earlier in the day, because your food is energy. It's then able to be used for energy as you go throughout the day. But different things work for different people. And I really do stand by that. Like, everyone is unique. There's not one nutrition approach that's going to work for everyone. So if you're someone who likes intermittent fasting, go for it.
Yeah. I tend to agree with you there, that it's nice to have more food throughout the day, earlier on in the day, and then towards the evening to taper it off and eat lighter and lighter.
Yeah, it just makes sense, because much of the time after dinner, we're not going out and using a lot of energy to do things, where in the morning, many of us are just starting our days. We're going to be moving around. So might as well get the body used to taking the food we're eating and using it for energy.
Yeah. So what misconceptions are there about any one particular supplement that you can think of,
Yeah, that's a really good question. The first one that comes to mind, just because we were recently talking about this on our podcast, was, and I think it was popular, maybe more popular about 10 years ago, but the green coffee bean extract. Have you heard of that?
Yes, I have for weight loss.
For weight loss. It's green coffee bean extract. It's caffeine in general, saying that intaking caffeine is going to boost your metabolism and help you lose weight. So I always tell people, like, I'm a dietitian. If and when I come across a supplement that all you have to do is take it and it will boost your metabolism and help you lose weight, I'll let you know. But green coffee bean extract and caffeine, it just isn't it. Like, yes, it speeds up our heart rate a little. You're burning a few more calories, but people who are claiming, they're charging an insane amount for these weight loss pills and they don't work and people get frustrated and blame themselves, and it's just this whole cycle. So any supplement really that says it's going to boost your metabolism and or help you lose weight, you can just push to the wayside. Like that's not going to be a good use of your money.
No. And I think what scares me the most with some of these supplements is that they could cause, liver damage or kidney damage, which is irreversible in some cases. I think.
Yeah, a lot of times with supplements, as long as I could talk forever about supplements, but as long as they're safe and they're third party certified, then what's on the bottle is in the bottle, right? What's on the labels in the bottle. But yeah, for a lot of these, you just don't really know what you're getting into. And yeah, liver toxicity can happen just like that. And it's definitely scary. So be careful when choosing supplements out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what advice would you give someone who is overwhelmed by all the conflicting information about nutrition and health in the media?
Yeah, so I would probably say 80% of the people who come to me, that's one of their biggest things. They just say, I'm so confused. There's people telling me to eat vegan and people telling me to do the ketogenic diet, and they're completely opposite. And how can both be true? So yeah, I love social media. I think it's a great place to get information if you're getting it from the right people. So keep in mind, there are lots of influencers on social media, on the internet, in, TV, all sorts of places who they don't have a nutrition background. They don't have a personal training background. They haven't had actual education behind these things. And they're just saying anything. And then a video goes viral and everyone takes it for truth. So what I would really recommend is no matter what kind of information you're looking for, whether if it's for exercise, make sure that the people you're getting the information from are certified personal trainers, certified strength coaches, people who have had education and practice and are certified in this specific thing. Same for nutrition. In the US, it's registered dietitians who are the ones who've gone to school, take a test, do an internship, and then you're a dietitian. And it's, different names across the world for the certified nutrition expert in the country. So just be wary of where you're getting your information from. If you read something and it's, sounds compelling, make sure you check who the author is and make sure they're not just a random person who is spewing nutrition or health information. Make sure that they have certifications, that they have experience, that they have education, so that they know what they're talking about and that it's based in some truth and in some science.
Definitely. Do you also think that sleep and exercise are also very important components when it comes to, weight loss? And
yes, absolutely. So nutrition's a piece of it, but it's not the whole story. And that's why I started off my career in sports nutrition, because I recognized I have the nutrition side down, but people can't truly be healthy without some movement in their lives. So definitely super important. I try to be cognizant of staying in my lane and not, just like I wouldn't want a personal trainer writing nutrition plans for someone. I, as a dietitian, don't write exercise plans for other people. It's not my area of expertise, but that's where I think it's important to have a team behind each person who's trying to get healthy, someone who's guiding them nutritionally, guiding them with exercise, and sleep is extremely important. These days there's even sleep experts who you can meet with if you're struggling with your sleep, and they can give you pointers and do coaching on the sleep as well. So all of it is extremely important and all comes together to make one healthy person.
Definitely. And stress. I think stress also plays a huge factor in trying to lose weight. If your cortisol levels are really sky high, then it's not going to help you achieve your health goals.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's where like I said earlier, when I learned it's not just about the nutrition, I need to be there to support mentally, emotionally as well. Yeah, there have been many times where I'm working with someone and there is just some trauma and some stress that is beyond what I'm able to help them with. And I will say, I will recommend, like, I think it would be beneficial if you would see a therapist or someone who could actually help you in this area, because nutrition, it's very important. It's my life, it's my job, but it'll only get you so far. All of the boxes need to be checked.
So if you had to give our audience 3 tips, just 3 tips to get started, what would they be?
Great question. So I will start off by saying nutrition is super personalized, but people ask me this question all the time on podcasts, right? So I do have a few in my pocket. So take these with a grain of salt. But the first one I always mention is hydration. And it sounds boring and it's not, exciting, like here, take this pill and you'll lose weight and all these things will happen. But hydration's my favorite because it is free. It is easy to do. All you need is a cup and some water, right? So the recommendation for hydration is, and I apologize for this because I'm going to say this in pounds for body weight and ounces of water. So I know that doesn't go across, the entire world, but a quick Google search can help you do those calculations. But what I recommend for people is half of your body weight in pounds in ounces of water per day.
Okay.
So I should know what that is in, kilos and milliliters, liters, things like that. But that's my one recommendation for hydration. The second would be protein. So no matter what your goal is, I think a lot of people think protein and they think of building muscle and being all bulky, but no matter what your goal is, whether it's to tone up, to gain muscle, to lose fat, protein is so important. So to keep it simple, eat protein every time you eat. Every meal you have, every snack you have, make sure there's some protein in there. And then my last recommendation would be, unless you're intermittent fasting, spread your intake throughout the day. So if you find that maybe you just get this dip of energy in the evening, or if you're someone who doesn't eat a whole lot and then you tend to eat a lot all at once, for your digestive system, it's best, for the most part, to spread it out throughout the day and have smaller amounts. So a breakfast, maybe a snack, lunch snack, dinner snack if you're still hungry. And that just helps your digestion keep going throughout the day. It never has to work on too much. And like I said in the beginning, this is different for every person and for every goal, but in general, those would be my 3. Focus on hydration, protein at every meal and snack, and spreading your intake throughout the day.
Well, I think they're wonderful tips. I do the same. I always tell people in a different way. So if they're getting hydrated, I always say, check the color of your urine. If it's a light transparent color or lighter yellow instead of darker yellow, it means you're drinking enough. Protein will help you keep full and keep your blood sugar levels stable, so we're on the same page, which is nice.
Love it. That is nice. It is nice. No matter where in the world we are, the people who are preaching the good nutrition news and following, truth and science, like we're all preaching the same thing. So yeah, it's not as flashy as some of the, influencers and selling supplements and diets and all of that, but it's what lasts and frees people from that diet cycle. And that's why I feel so passionate about taking this kind of approach, the slow and steady, gentle nutrition approach.
You took the words out of my mouth. I was having a session with a lady earlier on, and I said, I take the slow and steady path. That we go slow and steady. We learn healthy habits, healthy eating habits, learn how to eat, rather than any drastic measures which, just don't last. It's not sustainable. Right. It's not sustainable for a lifetime.
Absolutely. Yeah, that patience is key. Being willing to take your time, put in the work so that a year from now, you can look back and realize, hey, I never have to diet again. I never have to worry about my weight going up and down and up and down. I can just coast. And then that frees up brain space for other things to think about and enjoy in your life. And that is just so empowering.
It is. So, Emily, if our audience would like to get in touch with you, or how could they do that? Would you like to share your socials with us?
Definitely. Yeah. So my business Instagram is Emily_RD_. So that's for my nutrition side. We also, for our podcast, have an Instagram, and this is a mouthful. So it's RDs_VS_BS_pod.
Okay.
And then for both of those, I also have a website. So it's just emilyzorn.com. You can find all the info you need on there about the nutrition side. And then for the podcast, it's just rdsversusbs.com. We have all of our episodes up there and information on us and all that good stuff.
Which I will definitely be visiting and listening to some of those episodes.
Wonderful. Yes. Thank you so much. And thank you so much for having me on your podcast today. It's really been a pleasure speaking with you.
It's my pleasure. Thank you, Emily.
Thank you, Barbara.
Thanks for listening to Barbara's podcast. Don't forget to sign up for our newsletter or e-courses. Celebrate life, and see you at the next episode.